Morning, everybody. It's the Old Soldier coming at you again today from Robeson County, North Carolina, where it's cold, windy, and blustery outside. At least right now. Kind of cloudy. This afternoon, I'm going to go to my son-in-law's promotion ceremony as he gets promoted to Sergeant E5. Excited for that today. Anyway, yesterday I got real lengthy on my video. I got to apologize. Uncle Al, sorry. I just got on a roll and couldn't stop. But I'm briefly going to touch today on why we need to focus on America first. I touched a little bit yesterday on foreign aid, where it goes, how it gets there. Even the countries that don't like us, we continue to give them money. Why? Simple. The politicians there in Congress right now that keep passing this legislation blindly and blanketedly got personal gain. It's an old adage, follow the money. I would challenge each one of you to call your congressman and ask them, or actually demand of them, don't ask them crap, demand of them, because they work for you, you don't work for them. Just get an itemized report of where all this foreign aid going to and what it is to do, and demand itemized receipts from the countries we send it to. And they need to be certified. Now, will that happen? No. But if we flood our congressmen with enough phone calls on that, maybe they'll take note. But the real solution, though, folks, is we have to break the power of the Democrats and the Republicans. Plain, simple, cut and dry. Both parties have gotten so damn corrupt, it's not even funny. And the few politicians that are up there in the swamp that are trying to do something, they're fighting a losing battle right now, and they're starting to drown. I say a handful. Not that there might be, I can count on one hand the number of politicians actually up there in Washington, D.C. I'd trust to try and get something done. All right? If you haven't considered it, look at the Veterans Party of America. Just check them out. You ain't got to join, but check them out. That's where I moved my membership to. They're about small government, accountable government, follow the Constitution, and America first. It's time that our nation got back on track of taking care of our nation. And then if we've got something left over, we can help other countries. So that's really what I want to talk about today, is consider looking at that alternative, what the media would term as an alternative party. I'm just telling you, it's a viable third option to break the monotony of what's going on in Washington, D.C., to break that power and that chokehold that the Democrats and the Republicans have over Washington, D.C., and predominantly the communist Democrats. That's what they are, okay? Make no bones about it, the Democratic Party of the United States ought to read Democratic Socialist Communist Party of America. And they are doing everything within their power to marginalize and demonize anything with conservative values. They're on the cusp of potentially passing this H.R. 127, that if it does go all the way through and get signed into law, basically owning a gun is going to be a federal crime, because there's no way that the majority of the people will be able to meet all the mandates that are outlined in that bill. And like I said, if you want more information on that, go check out Guns and Gadgets, Legally Armed America, and there's a couple others out there that have done a much more phenomenal research on that bill. Or, you can actually go on the congressional website and download the draft of that bill. Either or. But some of the things they're talking about in there, one, I think having to have a license just to buy ammunition. Think about that. A registry that you have to turn into your local sheriff's office of all your firearms. Who owned it before you did? That's just a few things. And again, that goes to a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights. You know, a few months ago, remember I talked about how AOC and others of the Democratic Socialist Communist Party of America wanted to create lists for people that supported President Trump and conservative values and conservative movements. I want to put you on a list. So much so now that conservatives groups, if you will, are being declared terrorist, domestic terrorist. Now, to Tulsi Gabbard's credit, she called out several of her own side as domestic terrorists. Kudos on her. Miss Gabbard, if you're watching this, which I doubt, but if you are, if somebody sends this to you, please consider going independent, or by all means, come join us at the Veterans Party of America. And folks, I don't hold any official stature in the Veterans Party of America. I'm proud to say that I've moved my membership there. And hopefully here soon we'll get enough signatures in the state of North Carolina to be an officially recognized party in the state that I can actually have it put on my voter's registration card. Right now it only show that I'm independent. But that's who my affiliation's with. And I would encourage each and every one of you to check the party out. Okay? If you don't like what you see, so be it. I think, though, if you have the same values I have, it's probably where you need to align yourself. That's just my opinion now. You do what you think you need to do is best. But anyway, and I'm kind of out of it right now. I didn't sleep well last night. Tossed and turned. So, kind of slow and sluggish today. My fire and vigor's kind of on a low right now. But I'm really concerned about this HR 127. I keep calling my congressman and leaving voicemails and demanding. That's the other thing. When you call your congressman, don't ask. Don't be polite. Demand. And if they hang up on you, you call back. Remember, if you voted for them, whether you voted for them or not, as long as you voted, you have every right to call them and demand that they look into things. It doesn't necessarily mean they will, but you can make their congressional assistants have to take down a lot of information every time you call. Same thing with your senators. Blow up their phones too. Make them earn that money that they're getting paid to be up there. But anyway, folks, just wanted to put that out today. Again, if you haven't got yours, get this book and read it, The Naked Communist. It outlines the communist plan on how they want to try and take over the world. Not just the United States, but the world. Okay? And make no bones about it, the power, the power of the Communist Party shifted from Russia to China when the Iron Curtain fell. But make no bones about it, Russia's still a player in the communist game. May not look like it on the surface. But their current president, if you go back and look through his history, he was deeply embedded with the party. This stuff just doesn't go away overnight. In China, 40 years ago, China would look like the regular same old thing going on in the Soviet Union and Cuba. They changed their economy, didn't change their politics. Yeah, they've got a middle class now. But one step out of line, that middle class is squashed. Why? Because that's what communists do. You fall out of favor with the party, you're back to a slump nobody. That's what's going on here. Our election was stolen. We all know that. I would warn you about all this other stuff that keeps coming out, that there's some secret operation or covert operation going on to remove certain members of Congress out of play. Folks, if that was going to happen, I think it had already happened by now. But you do need to question this. Why do they still need tens of thousands of troops in Washington, D.C.? The inauguration's over. The impeachment's more of a formality than anything else. if you really think about it. So why do they still need 10,000 troops in Washington, D.C.? Remember what I asked yesterday. Call your governor's office and find out if those troops that your governor sent are on federal orders or state orders. Do you remember what I told you yesterday? If they're under federal orders, they fall under the authority of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America. If they're there at the behest of the governor, they're under state orders. There's some differences. You, as a citizen of your state, have a right to know if your National Guard troops who have been called up there are on state or federal orders. Secondly, this whole thing about what their mission is up there being classified is a bunch of bullcrap. That's the other thing. Watching a spot from Tucker Carlson about that. It's about the only one at Fox News that I trust anymore. And he was commenting on that, where the National Guard commander there in Washington, D.C. was asked what the mission of the National Guard is now, and was told that, one, it was to suppress domestic terrorism, and then it was said that, well, that's classified. Okay. Why? Beware, people. A true and awful evil is about to come out of Washington, the likes of which we have never seen before. You need to be prepared. If H.R. 127 passes, what's going to pass next? You're a Christian, off to a concentration camp. You're this, off to that. If you're that, you're off to that. You didn't support the Democratic Party? So bad, too bad for you. We're going to take your property and give it to somebody else can use it. Well, actually, waste it. Case an example, go to Mozambique, Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, parts of South Africa, Namibia, Angola. That's what communists do. They take away from people and give to others who don't know how to do squat with it and wind up wasting it anyway. Okay? Because you can't force people to work. You can make them work, but you can't force them to produce. Let's put it that way. Khrushchev found that out. And his country could barely feed itself. I'm going to cut this one off, folks. Like I said, I've got things I got to get ready for today. And I'm not feeling 100% because I'm just didn't sleep well last night. So, y'all stay safe. Stay vigilant. Stay armed. Till tomorrow. Soul Soldier out.